If you own or manage a call center, you know that a very common struggle is how to make sure your employees sound clear and are understood by your customers. Even when your employees know and understand English really well, sounding clear on the phone can be a challenge. We've worked with many call centers, and in this video, I'm sharing the strategies that worked best for them to improve the clarity and the confidence of their staff. From my experience, there are two main challenges when it comes to successful communication for call center employees. First is the clarity of their English pronunciation and accent. And the second is maintaining confidence while speaking English with difficult callers. So let's first talk about pronunciation and accent. Are your employees speaking English with the familiar sounds and rhythm of American English? Or are they carrying over the sounds and rhythm of their first language while speaking English? This is commonly known as an accent. If the accent is strong, it can get in the way of clear and effective communication. Through my program, we train employees to speak clearly and with the sounds and rhythm of American English, so that barrier is removed and there is more clarity, more trust, and more confidence in the communication. Here are 3 simple exercises that you can do with your employees to help them retrain their spoken English. First, have them practice reading their scripts out loud, focusing on slowing down, moving their mouths, and speaking louder. If they're feeling nervous, there's a tendency to speak faster, to slur their words and speak quieter. Okay, this will make it worse. So we really need to practice that slower speech. Speaking slower is going to bring more awareness. It's going to help the listener be able to follow easier. Moving their mouth more is going to help them not slur through words or drop sounds in the middle of words. And being able to speak louder helps them to be understood more clearly, but really that tendency to speak quiet when you're not quite sure just adds to that communication barrier. Okay, the second strategy that you'll need to have them do is go through any difficult words and break them down syllable by syllable. So each industry is going to have specific words that they're going to need to say over and over again. And we want to make sure that those are very clear and accurately pronounced. So breaking those down syllable by syllable, you'll be able to say, okay, what sound is being made in this syllable? What sound? It's not necessarily how it's spelled, it's how it sounds. So being able to break it down as to how it sounds in American English and what most native English speakers are going to understand, that's the way you need to break it down so that they can understand, they can practice those words and understand it better. All right, the third strategy I need you to use is if there are consistent error patterns for your employee, such as the TH sound in American English, have them do drills every day to retrain it. So we need to retrain the position that they have in their mouth, that TH sound, get the tongue between her teeth, and this, that. Make sure that we're drilling it every day by, again, reading those scripts out loud and making sure that that tongue is in position for those TH sounds. But doing these drills every day with that focus on that TH sound is really going to help them break the habit that they have before and retrain a new one. So one of our call center employees, her name is Leanne, she, at the end of her training, she actually recorded a voice memo for her boyfriend for a class that he was doing online. And the instructor thought that he was using an online tool because it sounded so much like a native speaker. And that's because Leanne really drilled and practiced every day. She was doing that drill work, she was retraining that habit, so she was correcting these error patterns that really would have made her sound like a non-native English speaker. But because she did all this drill work and she really retrained those error patterns, she sounded more and more like a native speaker. The second challenge for call center employees is the mindset. Okay, this is a big challenge for those speaking in a second language, especially as they're speaking with native English speakers. They tend to put themselves at this like one down position, that they're not as good as this native speaker that they're speaking with because of that discrepancy between the way a native speaker speaks and the way that the call center employee speaks. So they put themselves in this one down position, which is a very insecure place to be. Okay. They sometimes are filled with this fear of judgment or criticism. It can be very emotionally exhausting to be on the phones and to be communicating with native English speakers every day. Their brains may be responding to, verbal attacks, and their brain may go into this fight or flight adrenaline situation where the adrenaline is flowing through their body, and either they're ready to fight and they want to stand up for themselves if they're being verbally attacked by the caller, or they want to run away, and so their brain will go blank, and the words in English won't come as fluently as they usually do. So we need to help them manage this energy, manage this brain response to some of these callers. So there may be a caller that comes through that's in a bad mood or doesn't want to speak to someone that is outside of the United States, and they're saying mean things or judgmental things towards the caller. The caller needs to be able to know how to stay in their personal power. So let's go through 3 simple mindset shifts that you can work on with your call center employees so that they can stay in control, so that they can feel more confident as they are speaking with these callers. Number 1, teach them to stay in their personal power. So what that means is they can't control the other person. They can only control themselves. And when we stay in that personal power of the caller can be really ornery, they can be really judgmental, they can even verbally attack me, and I don't have to respond in a negative way. I can stay in my personal power. So as you stay in your personal power, you can stay calm and communicate with love and compassion no matter the attitude or the words of the caller. As you stay in your confidence, you can de-escalate the negative energy of that call. And I saw this over and over again with these call center employees as they learned how to stay in that personal power, and the stories in their head about the caller became more of compassion and love. They're coming to me because they're in pain or they have a difficult situation that they don't know how to manage and they're struggling with. Okay, so if we have that compassion for them and say, okay, it's not about me, it's about them struggling with something. I'm just the one that they're attacking. I'm the one that and they're focusing their energy on, but it's really not about me. It's about how they are feeling. Okay, that can de-escalate the negative energy as they can stay in that personal power and say, okay, it doesn't have to affect me. I can stay calm and confident in this situation. And a lot of that has to do with those stories that they tell themselves. Okay, the second one is to separate themselves from the caller. Teach them to separate themselves from the caller. The thoughts, the attitudes, and the opinions of the caller is about them, not me. So when they can really understand that and can create that separation, it creates a lot of confidence in being able to stay in control of their brain response. So in the last call center we were working with, the employees would call kind of the more ornery callers the salty ones, and then we had some more kind callers as well. And they learned that their confidence is not dependent on whether the caller shows up as salty or kind. And the way that we were able to kind of train this is recognizing the way that others are judging you is about them, not you. So that helped them see the caller with more compassion. All right, number 3, the third mindset shift that can create more confidence in your call center employees is to help them recognize they are the expert or the authority. Okay? As they stay in that personal power of, I know the answer, I know how to help this caller, and if I don't know the answer, I know how to find the answer. Okay? So that being the expert, becoming the authority Even though their language skills may be at a different level, they are the expert. The caller is coming to them to get help. Okay, so they know the answer or where to find the answer. So help them understand, okay, I'm guiding you with patience and love and compassion and kindness. So one example from one of the call center employees that we worked with was, her name was Rose, and she had this really difficult client that really was quite abusive verbally to her. And Rose stayed in her personal power. She stayed calm. She stayed confident. And through it, she could feel the caller kind of de-escalating in their energy, their negative energy about it. And at the end of the call, Rose said, "Do you have any other concerns that I can help you with?" And the caller actually said, "Yes, I want to ask for your forgiveness." And right there just said, "I was really ornery with you, and you didn't deserve that, and I want to ask your forgiveness." And that was a really powerful thing for Rose to experience, to recognize, okay, when I stay in my personal power and I don't let their attitudes or energy affect me, I can de-escalate this in a way that actually can bring more connection and bring them down from that space. So if you have a call center that could use our help and training, go to pronunciationpro.com and fill out a contact us form and let us know what your situation is and how we can help, and we'll reach out to you for a free consult. If you want more tools and tips on how to help your employees improve their spoken English, definitely check out my channel, Pronunciation Pro, and check out this next video.